Hassan wants to speak to us from Slough. Go for it, Hassan.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, this is an interesting topic. A few weeks ago, when you were interviewing a Muslim protester about this issue, me and my daughter were actually listening to this conversation, my 8-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And we started laughing because the protester actually was not answering your question, and it's very typical of some of your callers. You put succinct questions, and if they're cornered, they'll either divert or they get angry. So I had to explain to her, but she asked me what is homosexuality and lesbianism, and I'm pretty open. I tried to answer all the questions. I explained what they were, that men like women, men like men, women like women, and of course what the Islamic and other religious viewpoint is, why we follow the religious viewpoint, but where there are differences, we respect our differences. Can we never be intolerant? So that was a conversation I had with my daughter. And in relation to those parents, there are some serious contradictions amongst these Muslim protesters. Number one, we all agree as Muslims that the most important concept is the oneness of God, or Tawheed. But these parents are quite happy for their children to learn about other religions and accept the differences and respect the differences. Yet homosexuality is minuscule in importance to that, yet they are targeting homosexuality, which is rather bizarre.
Well, what do you think this is, Hassan? This is what is the obsession, both in Islam and more, let's say, evangelical forms of Christianity, with out of all the sins? You know, like I've seen these protesters on the television screen. Some of them look quite religious, but others look quite irreligious, but they're still there with the protesters. And I imagine, especially the younger ones, there's a myriad of, you know, let's say un-Islamic quote-unquote things that they're involved in their daily lives, merely by the fact they're living in Britain and trading in the pound sterling with interest rates and stuff. So why pick on this one quote-unquote sin among all the other things and obsess over this one?
That's the question I have for those protesters. So if any of your callers are actually listening who agree with these protesters, I'd like them to answer this question, because you've actually brought me to my second point, which is, yes, there are other sins as well which are being tolerated. There is deviancy, inverted commas, from an Islamic point of view in heterosexuality, so sexual acts or certain aspects of heterosexuality that is regarded as deviant, whether it's sex before marriage or adultery, yet these parents tolerate it. They have never protested against it. And final point is, and I know this is a controversial point and we will debate this another time, but the biggest injustice against children that's happening, which I believe is abortion, yet these Muslim parents are paying lip service, which is an absolute disgrace.
Out of curiosity, Hassan, because you and I speak a lot on my regular weekend show as well, and so I didn't know that about you. So what is your view on abortion? I know it's a different topic. We won't debate it now, but I'm just curious.
No, well, I believe that it is wrong. It is actually murder. But I have actually debated people, feminists, who argue the right to choose and women's bodies, so I really do understand the argument. I understand their views quite deeply, but that is my view. And again,
you mean at any term, even like, do you have any term for it? You think it's immediately murder, even from conception onwards?
Yes, I believe that. I know from an Islamic point of view there's a disagreement that they regard life as after the soul is comes into the unborn baby or the fetus. But I agree with the Catholic viewpoint that life actually begins at
fascinating. Well, let's because no doubt, because what's happening in Alabama, one of my shows one day will return to this subject. So please do call in. We'll have a chat about it then. All right, Hassan, thank you very much. A pleasure as always to speak to you. That's Hassan there from Slough. You're listening to Maajid Nawaz here on LBC.